One thing I don't think I've ever talked about on here is that I write. And I write as in I want to publish books. I started writing like way back in like kindergarten when I don't think the teacher had anything else for us to do. It was mainly because I was in a bilingual class, and so she wanted to work with Spanish-speaking kids. So basically all those other kids who spoke English already, like, she just kind of put us to the side and made up stuff for us to do. So she would have us, like, take, like, squares of paper, weird, paper, and she would staple them together and then, like, have us, like, write our own stories and, like, draw pictures to them. So I was, like, that was my favorite part of the day. Like, I was obsessed with it. It was so much fun. And then in second grade, our teacher actually took out, like, creative writing time, and I remember I had this yellow folder. It was my creative writing folder, and she would only want us to write, like, a page or two, like, while she worked out what our next activity was, but I would go on and write pages and pages of just these, like, amazing, random, made-up stories. That was amazing. It was so much fun. So, of course, I kept writing, and then I think in 7th grade, me and my best friend decided we wanted to write together, and so that's what we started doing, and we were dorks, okay, and really dramatic, and we wrote these really dramatic stories. It was so funny. Like, as we look back on it, like, then we were just they were just amazing, like. And my best friend, she kept it, well, one of them, and so, like, 6 months ago, we were going through, and she was cleaning up, and she found it, and we read it, and we laughed and laughed. It was hilarious. Like, at one point, someone got shot, I think, and it was, like, I think it was, like, chapter 8, and there was a bang, and then chapter 9, it was, like, he was shot 6 times, and then it was really dramatic, and it turns out the guy was only shot, like, in the knee or something. It was so random. I'm working on a couple books right now, or a few. I'm working on a series, first of all, and then I have a couple of, like, single books, like, don't have, like, any other books to them. So my series is called Harbor Bridge Academy, and basically it's kind of like taking Gossip Girl and Laguna Beach and slamming them together with a bunch of other those kind of teen things. So the book starts with Addison Joseph, and her friends call her AJ. She's the daughter of a Maine senator, and she's sent to school across the country in Southern California because her parents are in, like, this crazy divorce and they want to keep her out of it. So, she plans to make the most of her new school year at this really cool new school. It has its own private beach. Okay, come on. So what if your parents are divorcing? You had a freaking private beach in your new school. So, and so everything's going cool. She has all these amazing new friends. She has a cute boy in her sights. And then she meets the queen bee of the school, Victoria Castleberry. And no, AJ's trying to make the most of the school year, so she decides, hey, what the heck, I'm going to run for homecoming queen. Yeah, Victoria does that every year, and is always the winner because no one runs against her because they're all kind of afraid of her. So then things get a little nasty between them, and so the tagline of the book is, some people will do anything for a little power over someone else. So, yeah, that's book 1. It's called Anything, of course. And then we have book 2, which is called Manipulations. And that one, AJ's best friend comes from their old school across the country to come to school with her. And it's after Christmas break, and there's some manipulating going on. Then there's book 3, which is Lies. And basically then, like, her parents' divorce is, like, done, and her dad has a new woman, and AJ is about to get a stepsister who also decides to come to school at Harbor Bridge. And then there's book 4, which is Jeopardy, and that's book that gets crazy. like things happen, and it's more like a mystery than all the other books because AJ's basically running against the clock to like save lives. I have my other book, which is called Split, and the synopsis is: tired of being the odd one out, the single one, and the lonely one, Alexa Wesley agrees for a few blind dates set up by her closest friends. Each date seems to be a complete disaster, and Alexa finally is ready to give up when she's set on one last date with Jonathan Kessler, an accomplished young attorney who has everything she's looking for and seems to be in the fitting place. And at her job, she meets the newly appointed youth pastor, Danny, who is also everything she's looking for. These men are very different, but they both hold a place in Alexa's heart, and she's split between them. Which one shall she choose? Then there is The Grown Woman Chronicles, and this book is actually a memoir, and is with me and my best friend, and it's basically a bunch of like diary entries or poems or short stories or whatever, and it's about us growing up. Like, we've been best friends since the 2nd grade, and so now like we've come to this point where like she's 19 and I'm 20, and we're grown women right now. Like, this is so new. So like, we know other people around our age are like, what is going on? And so the book is basically us going through everything, like with school, being in college. Like, I love school and she doesn't love it that much. So you get two different sides of the spectrum. And then boys, oh yes, the wonderful world of boys. Family, money, having to get jobs, and semi-supporting ourselves, and like everything. So that's that book. It's gonna be so much. It'll be a few years before it's done because, I mean, we still have some growing up to do, and there's so much stuff in the world to take a hold of and write about. And then our last one that we're writing together is a fiction, and it's called Always Right Here. This is actually that book from the 7th grade, just not as dramatic. We just love the premise of the story. Like, oh man, it's an amazing story. It's a collaboration effort, of course, and Noah and Amari have been best friends since they were in preschool. They face challenges and overcome them, but when tragedy strikes Amari's life, the one person who can be there for her is Noah, who's been in love with her for quite a while. When no one else can be there for you, the one who loves you will never leave your side. The story brings out the true meaning of love, and it's a cute love story. Like, I mean, the drama is still there. We have some pretty interesting characters. My favorite character, when the book comes out, you'll read it. Her name is Lanisha. She's insane, and mostly because things that happened in the original version of the book is why I love her, which won't be happening in this book because it made no sense. In the side, I will post a link to my writing book website, my space thing, as well as my best friends, so you can get to learn about our amazing books. Yeah, like, everyone should write, and if you don't write, you should read, because reading can do anything. Like, I've seriously seen it firsthand when it comes to the Harry Potter community and all of my favorite people in the Harry Potter community, which is everybody. Like, you can change the world. And as proof of that, I'm going to put a link in the sidebar to the HP Alliance website, because, oh my gosh, things are amazing. And, like, reading a book about a boy wizard written by a woman who started out on welfare and just came up with this idea can change the world, then, like, anybody can. And that's basically why I write. Like, you never know, like, what ideas can spark in a person's mind, like, after reading something. So, yep, that's pretty much it.